Joining me now to discuss the further damage that is being done to our students psychologically, educationally, physically. He's a fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Jonathan Butcher. Jonathan, thanks for coming on the program. How are you today, sir?
Great to be with you. Thank you.
I've got a 13-year-old. I ask my kid all the time, do you feel like you're getting your education in 7th grade that you should be getting? And she tells me no. No way. She was a straight A student last year, has been almost her entire career. I am so worried. Jonathan, we're hurting our kids, aren't we?
Well, absolutely. And I think the marker was moved yesterday when the press secretary said that it's more than half of schools at least one day a week. Now, I think that's hardly going to be satisfying to parents, especially with surveys finding that parents are much more satisfied with in-person schools that are already back to in-person, than they are with virtual or even the hybrid scenarios happening in some districts.
Yeah, and let's talk about what's happening to them, because we just learned, and it happened a while back, but the dad just came out publicly this week, and so I think it was in the New York Post, that a 12-year-old boy hung himself because he was depressed. We reported a while back that the number of suicides within the Clark County school system in Nevada are at a record high. New York, all these states that continue to stay locked down, keep the kids locked down, do distance learning. We know it's hurting their education. We've seen the reports about them failing, the most Fs ever in K through 8, right? Now we're seeing them harming themselves. This has to end. We've got to get them back in the classroom.
Well, certainly. I think what's important is to get to a place where we say that they at least have the option for in-person class. And look, if parents are concerned that they are not ready to have the kids back, maybe they have someone in the home who's particularly at risk or something like that. And there are polls that show that there may be some parents thinking that way. But that's okay, right? As long as they have the option to get kids back in person in the classroom, that's what we really should be aiming for. Private schools around the country have already demonstrated that this can be done. The Catholic schools report that 90% of Catholic schools have been open to in-person learning since the beginning of this school year already.
And the CDC director, you heard that soundbite right before your interview here, said they can go back even if the teachers aren't vaccinated. So I drew a conclusion. I'll ask you your thoughts. Why would the Biden administration be backpedaling on this now when the director of the CDC says it, when we've been told for months, follow the science, and all of a sudden it's, well, now we can only do maybe half the schools, the majority, but not all of them. I think I know what it is. It's pushback from the unions, and they don't want to, we need those votes in 2, 4, and 6 years. We don't want to upset them. That's my opinion. Your opinion?
I think the unions have definitely been flexing their political muscle, right? In Chicago, they've delayed in-person reopening. They said they came to agreement just the other day with the city, but the union effectively won. They got what they asked for. Most students in Chicago are not going to be back for another month. There is still no plan to get high school students back in Chicago. So we're really only talking about a portion of the kids there. This same thing is unfolding in Philadelphia right now. So it's happening in large metro areas all over, where the union is pitting itself against the interests of parents, but also against the district and the city, because they know they have the upper hand. If they tell their members to stay home, their members will stay home.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, Jonathan, what can parents do? I mean, if you got a single mom or both parents work and they got 2, 3 kids and the kids aren't getting the education they need through the computer screen, but mom and dad got to go to work, I mean, what can parents do?
Well, I think for starters, more than ever now, state policymakers in particular need to be looking at proposals to create scholarship programs for students from all walks of life. I think that's a big start. And this is the time when state lawmakers can do that. Many of them are back in session now. I would say, too, that as parents think about things like learning pods and having students home or meeting with other families to combine, the process of having kids learn in small groups, those are happening around the country. By one estimate, 3 million students are in those now. So there's certainly hope out there for families of all backgrounds.
The Will Skillman Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Jonathan Butcher, thank you so much for joining Real America. We truly appreciate your insight. And please, anytime, come back on the program. This is a discussion we need to continue to have and keep pressuring this administration and these governors and these mayors to push these unions to get the teachers back so our kids can get the education they deserve. Jonathan, you take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.